Now, this has to be the most baffling story that I have ever read. You see, myself and many other of my colleagues from med school have actually talked about the side effects of the government keeping us safe during the pandemic. And there are quite a few. One of them even had to do with children being unable to speak for a couple more months than they should. And this is because children actually look at people's facial expressions and lips and how they move. But when you wear a mask, and they went to school and they saw everyone else wearing a mask, then that actually created some speech impediments, right? So like that's one side effect. But what I'm seeing here is probably the worst one. Apparently, the parents were traumatized by their own government, which is what the mainstream media refuses to acknowledge, and decided in their infinite wisdom to keep their children locked up in their own house up until recently. So that's 4 years. 4 years of children not being able to leave their homes because their parents wanted to keep them safe. And as you can see, the living conditions were pretty bad, exactly what you would expect from a group of people that never leave their homes at all. The children were walking slouched, apparently, and this was happening in Spain. Now, the way it was actually discovered is by a university professor that looked through her windows and have noticed something weird, that the neighboring house only has one person going out of it, and it was a guy with a mask. And this guy was purchasing from supermarkets a lot more than what's required for a single guy. Instead, he was purchasing for an entire family, including nappies. And so, she Karenized, and I guess in this situation, the Karen is actually the positive role model. She called the cops. And the cops went in and they realized that the children were indeed being kept into their homes, not allowed to leave, and not even being registered in any school system, which I think is a crime in Spain, right? Like protecting children from the indoctrination of the state. But they were then sent to the authorities, and the authorities looked for their biological grandparents. I think the parents got arrested. I don't even know like what crime you're actually committing, because like they have to be charged with something. And as far as I know, like keeping your kids indoors isn't necessarily illegal, but I think like not registering them for school is. Plus the living conditions. But living conditions, I mean, it depends, like if you're a poor family, it's like you have living conditions that are subpar. Like what are you going to do? Are you going to arrest everyone that's poor? No, but still, the reason that I find this case to be interesting is because while I do blame the parents, I can't blame only the parents, right? It is possible that the parents were mentally deficient. Actually, it's not possible, it's most likely. But the government, like my brother in Christ, I remember the Project Fear is the way the British called it. Like governments on purpose did their best in order to terrorize the population. And I remember what happened in Spain. There was a lady that was jogging on a street, and she was just grabbed by the cops, and the cops like literally dragged her to the cop car, and the Spanish neighbors were applauding and cheering. This was at the beginning of the pandemic, right? I mean, these governments put the fear of God into people to the point where even I, that like to consider myself a healthy individual, was afraid to leave my house. Like in Romania, you actually needed to write papers, right? Like the hour you left your house, why have you left your house, where are you going, have your ID ready. And I was constantly worried that like, what happens if I place the wrong number? Like if I mistook my social security number, or I'm not writing it the exact way that they wanted it to write. Because there was a old lady. Apparently she was arrested because she just wrote it the way she thought it's supposed to be written. And it's like, no, she should have gotten on the internet and checked the proper forum. And I, again, like absolute terror for the population. It was a $2,000 fine. And so this happened in Spain, right? Obviously, again, like if you have a person that's already mentally ill, and on top of the mental illness, you also double down, like you also add the trauma, well, you end up with something like this. And, it's okay for the parents to be arrested, absolutely, but they should share their prison sentence with all the journalists, all the politicians, all the experts that have terrorized the population and have pushed censorship and have pushed the shutting down of businesses and all of that other stuff. When, again, the vaccine, I was told, was safe and effective, right? So, like, the people that genuinely were afraid of getting sick could have been vaccinated, while the people that didn't care, last time I checked, like, the government doesn't own their life, right? Like, if a person wants to do extreme skateboarding, if they want to do mountain climbing, if they want to do something risky, where they say, yeah, I know it's stupid, but I want to do it anyway, like, for example, going out during COVID to their jobs and keep working, why was the government upset about that? Right? Like, why was it required to lock people up in their homes and terrorize them at the television and ban anyone that disagreed? So yeah, like, I'm noticing that no journalist is feeling bad about this. Like, not a single person is saying, oh shit, like, look, this is on us. Still, I guess we can say it's lucky because the lady managed to see what was going on, because otherwise they would have been sitting in their homes for more years. And I do hear about these cases, which is kind of weird. Like, I'm being told in America, especially, there are people living in liberal areas, and even today you have individuals with masks on. And I always assumed it's like, well, maybe, they just have a sickness now. They have a flu or something, and the pandemic basically told them how to be respectable citizens. But after seeing this, I'm starting to wonder, it's like, how many of them, like, genuinely are still afraid of the pandemic today? And so this article actually has a comment section, and we can see what people are saying. They've been there for years. When did the neighbors first notice them? Well, apparently quite recently. But it's like, people have too much expectations of the neighbors. Like, I don't sit at the window every day to look into my neighbor's house, right? So it takes a special kind of person. A living, breathing security camera, I guess. Must have been awful for the kids, but hey, how long was lockdown? 2 more weeks to flatten the curve. So I guess a lot of people are actually holding the governments responsible. At least the Spanish dish out proper sentences. UK judges would have found some excuse not to jail the parents. Maybe UK judges would definitely feel that it's their fault. Well, at least not their personal fault, but like the government's fault. Too many have been brainwashed. Humanity has been terribly damaged by a certain group of very sick individuals that should be in asylums. I do agree. I hate such noisy neighbors. Spying on you like DDR Stasi. Get a life. Focus on your own. Yeah, to be fair, like, this doesn't change my mind about neighbors that like to spy. I mean, just because you have one case where good came out of it, like, how many other cases where neighbors just constantly spy on you? And who would actually like to live next to this lady as a neighbor? Absolute beast. Nothing at all to do with COVID, just pure evil. It is possible, yeah. Like, this is one option that a lot of people don't take into account, but I, as a cynical Eastern European, have to. When people are caught doing something, they don't come out and say, yeah, we're guilty, we did it. Usually, they try to make what they did more PR sensible, right? Like, more acceptable to the public. And so they can actually say that, oh, it's because of COVID. However, no, in this situation, like, if the guy genuinely had a mask, right, and this is what the lady says, I do believe that they may actually have believed that outside is dangerous. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.